This is going to be video number 3. This is Reverend Ron, Enlightened Spiritual Master, on video number 3. And today my subject is going to be a continuation of spiritual revelation, some of the things about spiritual revelation. Now, before I get any further on this series of videos at all, because I'm going to probably make about 25 videos anyway, but before I get much further with this, I want to explain to everyone out there in YouTube land just exactly what it means to me when I speak of myself as an enlightened spiritual master. When I talk of myself as an enlightened spiritual master, what that means to me is it means that I understand what my limitations are. And more importantly, I understand what the limitations of the human race are. So that to me is the most important thing about enlightenment, that you understand what your limitations are and work within them. And don't be too hard on yourself for a lot of things. Okay, now with that subject done, I'm going to read the rest of my essay because it contains a lot of information, and it'll be easier if I just read it. And there'll be lots of other YouTube videos where I'm speaking extemporaneously, so I'm just going to read this one. Okay, now the next subject I want to deal with here in the realm of spiritual enlightenment is not a pleasant one. Nevertheless, I did read this book, and as a student of the human condition, I learned much from it. Now, this book is called Under the Banner of Heaven by Jon Krakauer. And what it is exactly and specifically, it's a story of Ron and Dan Lafferty, who received revelations from God that they were to kill 4 people, and in fact killed 2 of them. They killed their brother's wife and her 15-month-old daughter. And they are currently doing life in the Utah penal system, except that one of them is under a death sentence. I forget which one, but the way things are going in this day and age, who knows when and if that will get done. Now, they had multiple trials. I mean, this thing drug out for a long time. And during their trials, there was endless debate about their sanity. Now, the general consensus was they must be insane because they couldn't possibly have received a revelation from God to kill these people. Now, here's the thing. Now, that's not the case at all. Now, let me give you several examples here. Now, when I think of God, the common God of the Christian church and other people's gods, I think of 3 different entities. First, there is the God of the Old Testament, the God of wrath and vengeance. Now, just in case anybody's forgotten, he's the one that drowned the whole human race except for Noah and his family, and a few animals, of course, they got aboard the ark too. Then there is the God of the New Testament, the Christian God of mercy, who allowed his son to be nailed to the cross. Well, too bad for his son. Then, of course, we have the God of the Mormon Church, Heavenly Father. Now, if you read the Book of Mormon, he killed a lot of people too. The Book of Mormon is a whole history of war. And then, nobody has forgot this, but just in case anybody has, I'll mention Islam here, who what Islam teaches is that everybody else is the infidel and they deserve only death. And in fact, the history of Islam has been one of multiple wars and a lot of bloodshed. So when you think of it that way, there's plenty of precedent for people to receive revelations from God about killing people. I mean, it's not a big deal. So what's the point of all of this? Now, the point is this. It doesn't matter whether they received a revelation from God to kill these people or not. It doesn't matter. That's why we have man's law. And man's law says it's not okay to kill people just because you receive a revelation from God. That's not an excuse. So then the next question you have to ask yourself is, what should we do with these people? Now, we can't turn them loose because they might receive another revelation from God to kill anyone at any time, and in that respect they are a danger to society. The only sensible answer is they should be permanently removed from society, either by execution or life imprisonment. Okay, now in closing this, I want to analyze revelations from God and what they are. When I think of God and revelations and communication with God, I believe that could also be thought of as the work of the subconscious mind, or as others have described it, that 98% of our mind that goes unused. I believe people fail to understand how powerful the human mind really is. I think the subconscious mind of Joseph Smith could have actually created golden plates, which he could touch and feel and translate from a different language. Joseph Smith could have actually influenced other people to see them. Gary Renard's subconscious mind could have actually created Arton and Persa for him to communicate with. So in that respect, I believe these are not someone's imagination or delusion, but are totally real, and I actually believe they did happen. So that being the case, that leaves us with the question of what relevance all of this has to the individual. Now, as I've stated before, there's thousands upon thousands of religions out there, and everybody has their own individual beliefs. So here's my personal belief. I believe that one's religious beliefs, or lack of them, if that is the case, should serve the individual, not a non-existent external power. For instance, I go to the Mormon church every Sunday and I socialize with my Mormon friends, but there is no way I could ever become a member of their church because their beliefs do not serve me. For instance, I could never believe that everyone else is a church of the devil or give 10% of my income to a cause I don't believe in. Course in Miracles beliefs do serve me, and that there is no organization I'm required to give 10% of my income to, and they do not advocate killing or violence and don't believe in original sin and hell and all the other assorted Christianity dogma. So anyway, I'm going to close off video number 3 now, and I'll see you again on video number 4. This is Reverend Ron, Enlightened Spiritual Master, signing off.